Word that means beard. Jesus Christ had a beard, right? Because they were plucking the hairs from his face. Right. Men in the Bible are supposed to have a beard. You, mother, as he grows, you what, about 10? You 12, okay, cool. So at 12, pretty soon, when a boy hit about 13, 14, what do you begin to see on his face? Hair. Why? Because the Bible said God gave men hair to tell the difference between men and, because it ain't but two people on earth that don't have facial hair, and that's kids and women. So when he starts to see his facial hair, do not cut it off. Do not cut that boy's hair off. When you take him to the barber shop, don't let him trim his sideburns off as they grow. Because God gave him hair naturally with facial hair. Now mine doesn't grow thick and full like some of the brothers, but whatever I have, I keep it. I don't cut it off. Trim it down, make it look nice, line it up, right? Because Christ had it. Right. So his head and his hairs, his beard, were what? Were white like wool. Wool comes from where? From sheep. Are all sheep white? Very good. So since all sheep are not white, then that means we are both describing both the color and the texture. Right. Because wool, some people will say, well, it says it was white like wool. See, that's just saying that it was white. No, because all sheep are not white. Right. You have black, black sheep. Right. 3 bags full, right? So if that was a black sheep, then that means he wasn't white. So his head and his hairs were white and woolly.
That's right. That's right.
Who has woolly hair on earth? The so-called Negro on earth has woolly hair.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, here's the thing though. If Christ had woolly hair, why would you desire to straighten it? Right. Now, I'm not saying it's a sin to straighten it, but if Christ had woolly hair, Christ came from his mama, what type of hair you think she had? So why do our women fight so hard to straighten it nowadays?
To get it out of their hair and some women.
So you can't do nothing with it?
Look good. Make it go.
What makes it better? Is it because those people on earth whose hair is naturally straight told you it was better? Because what people on earth hair is naturally straight? I got you, but there's right now we're in a beautiful time, right? Because you can walk into a hair store and buy products, and there's huge sections for natural hair nowadays. Right. Right? When you perm your hair, all the chemicals in those perms, if you've been following science over the last few years, it's causing cancer in your ovaries and all types of stuff.
Yes. That's right.
You understand? Women are walking around here right now with, what is it called? Endometriosis? How do you say it since you're a nurse?
No, you just said.
Endometriosis? Women are walking around with that right now. Right. Women are walking around with alopecia and patches coming out of their hair from perm.
That's right.
Why? Because the so-called white woman, the Asian woman, which is the ones that sell it to us, the Arab woman, the Elamite or East Indian woman, which is the ones that cut it off and sell it in bundles, right, after they worship it to their gods, have told you that your hair is ugly. Because natural hair is the hair of God. Jesus Christ was perfect. So if he was perfect and he had natural hair, then which hair is the better hair?
Right. That's right.
The natural hair, not the permed hair. Because the permed hair is so that it looks like the enemy. Right. Let's go back to the image of Christ. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. As white as snow. So his was fully white. Like I'm praying mine, I want mine to be white. So it was fully white, as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. That in Genesis. So his eyes were as a flame of fire. Have you ever learned in church that we're not supposed to drink? You've heard that before. Have you heard that before? Well, I mean, she go to church.
Yeah, I kind of started late.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So you've heard that we're not supposed to drink, right? What did Christ use when he broke bread? So how are we not supposed to drink? You understand what I'm saying? If the Bible say that Christ drank wine and Christ walked around and they called him a wine bibber, they called him a drunkard. Why would they call him a drunkard if you're not supposed to drink? You understand? But watch this. Genesis 49 and verse 12.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 12.
Let's see why his eyes were red like fire.
His eyes should be red with wine.
His eyes shall be red with what?
With wine.
When you drink wine, sis, it makes you merry. You're not supposed to get drunk. But you get you sip a glass of wine, it make you feel good. You get relaxed, it makes you merry, right? Christ drank wine. And it said his eyes would be what?
Red with wine.
Because when you drink wine, not to get drunk, but if you, before that point of being drunk, what happens to your eyes? They get a little low, and what else happened to them? Yeah, but what color do they turn? She said a glaze. What color though? What color do they turn? They turn red.
That's right.
Because alcohol makes your eyes red because of the blood vessels, right?
Right.
So what did it say again?
Red with wine.
So Christ's eyes would be red with wine. Go back to Revelation 1:14. So his eyes were as a flame of fire because he drank wine. So he had white woolly hair. He had red eyes. Does that match this picture here? No, not at all. Remember, we still focused on idolatry. The things that we supposed to get rid of. That don't have no white woolly hair and ain't no red eyes in it.
Right.
And we see these pictures our whole life.
That's right.
You can go in your church and find these pictures. You can open your Bible at your house, grandmama's house, great auntie house. You're going to find these pictures in it.
That's right.
You never looked at them like that? You saw the Passion of Christ and cried, didn't you?
I did. I cried.
You said, so you looked at them like that because you thought that was Jesus on the cross getting tormented.
I always feel somewhat right. Just vibes and this.
Okay,
I have heard
good.
said that's not him, but you know.
Okay.
I could ask my mom before. She'd be like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I never looked at him like that. I never thought.
Okay, good. So after today, this is how you're supposed to look at it. Because the Bible's telling you what he looks like. It's in the book.
Bring
And
it
if you
out.
believe the Bible, then you got to believe the report. That's why he said, what thou seest, do what? Write it in a book. Because if you want to hide something from black people, where you put it? In a book.
That's right.
Negroes will not read this.
Right.
We'll sit in church and let the pastor tell us whatever, and that's why you say you don't believe all of it, because you just believed what he told you instead of picking it up, because we're not trained as people to pick the book up first. Read it again, verse 15.
Galatians chapter 1 and verse 15.
So now, white like wool, the hair on his head and his beard, his eyes red as a flame of fire, and his feet. Now we looking down at his feet. If y'all had on sandals right now, what would I be able to see? The tops of your feet, right? So I can see your skin color on the tops of your feet. And if I see the skin color on top of your feet, then I know the rest of your leg is going to match that. Your feet might be a little lighter because they don't get as much sunlight.
Right.
Certain parts are a little lighter. They don't get as much sun, but still, it's going to be consistent pretty much, right? Little lighter, but still the same color. Just one got more tan on it from the sun. You agree? So now we're looking at his feet.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So the color of his feet was compared to fine brass. Give me that sign. Give me that sign. That we, the one with the brass on it. Yeah. So now it said his feet were like unto fine brass. You see brass on there? That's the color of brass. When you bring it out of the ground naturally, brass is. If I take that, which is burnt brass, what color is that? Black.
That's right.
What are we revealing again, little brother? That Jesus Christ is a black man.
That's right.
He looks like me, very dark skinned with white woolly hair.
Right.
Jesus is black.
Right.
So who is this, little brother? What'd you say? You thought that was Jesus. Why? Because that's what the world has told us. But we read in Exodus chapter 20 that that's not the truth. In fact, that's called an idol.
That's right.
Because have people worship this? Yes, every Sunday. That's why they make all of the movies to look like this. All of the pictures that you see when you go in stores to buy, I bet you they got one in there right now, and they believe in Buddha. But I bet it's a white Jesus somewhere near them. Why? Because as soon as people see that white Jesus, they like, oh, that's God. Well, if they painted the pictures of Christ as a white man, why do you think black people hate each other so much? Why do you think, sis? Because we believe that God is white, so his people must be white too.
That's right.
So we've looked at the white man as being godly and angelic on earth, and look at ourselves as being the lowest and the worst people on earth. You understand? Christianity teaches that. Christianity.
Nation is men leading by example.